Hi, I'm RobCosman. Welcome to my shop. Do you ever wonder how woodworking YouTube videos are made, or at least how ours are? If you're interested, stick around and I'll walk you through the entire process and you'll see. You might be surprised. Anyway, we do follow a procedure. Sometimes there's more steps than others, but we go through and do the whole thing. And I thought it might be interesting to kind of walk you through that and see exactly what we do. Who knows, maybe it'll help you. Anyway, here we go. First I'm going to talk about is the video length. Now obviously what we're trying to do is create videos that get the message across, but they fall within that sweet spot where the maximum number of people will watch it. And for us it seems to be somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes. And probably 80% of the videos that we do fall in that range, but a good example of being outside of that, we did one called 32 Seconds to Sharp, and it's proven to be one of our more popular videos. I like to be able to teach the concept. I'm not, I don't do too well on shorts. If I'm going to take the time to do it, I want to make sure that the message is delivered and the person watching it is able to watch and then turn around and do. So 15 to 25 minutes is where we should be. Second component is staying in my wheelhouse. I tend to only do videos that I have firsthand knowledge in and that I'm comfortable with. So you'll see a lot of dovetail videos in my repertoire. You're never going to see me do a comparison on Festool. Don't use the tools. Nor do I use Japanese chisels, so you're never going to see me talking about those. We prefer, if I don't have expertise in that area, we just leave it, let somebody else do it that does have expertise, and I stick to what I know. So the next one was a real lesson for me, and this happened when Luther, retired Colonel Luther Sheely, came on board. We started making, when did we make our first video? 2008? And really limped along for a decade, actually more than a decade. And I always made videos that I thought people would be interested in. So topics that I had an interest in, I'd share them. But when Luther came along, realized that experienced YouTubers make videos that people are searching for. So you're a woodworker, you're into a particular topic, that's what you're going to be searching for. So we use this service called Morning Fame. Morning Frame or Morning Fame? Morning Fame. And Luther will go through and do the research and see what topics people are searching for that correspond with something that I have a level of expertise in, and that's how we do a video, or how we choose a video. But that's changing. You know yourself, once you've mastered one aspect of woodworking, you're moving on to the next. So you constantly have to be doing this research to find out and to stay current with what people are searching for, and hopefully in a timely way make a video that matches their search and put it out there, and hopefully they find it and everybody lives happily ever after. So next is our schedule. So we try to do one video a week. We probably average 3 a month. There was a time when we were doing a video a day, and we did that for a long period of time during the lockdowns. But you got to remember, I spend a good portion of my day building tools or overseeing the building of tools. So the time we have to produce videos seems to get limited more and more all the time. But our goal is to try to produce one good quality publishable video each week. Sometimes we hit it, sometimes we don't, but we try not to go too long without having a new one up there for you to view. So there's 4 of us. Obviously, you know I'm me. Jake, my son, is behind the camera. So he's been the cameraman since he was 16, 2011 or 12. What year? 12. 2012. So he's held a lot of, he's held that camera in his hand a long time. So he and I started, and my son-in-law Frick, who, if you've listened to us at all, you know who he is. And if you kind of look over there, I'll give you a little behind the scenes. This is Frick's station. So we always pile all the junk that's in our way during the week in here, and he comes in and has a fit because trying to get ready for doing a YouTube live and it's a pile of junk in there. Anyway, so he sits there, but in our regular video production, his job is to do the initial uploading, and then he'll send it to Luther. Now there's Luther, he's in the red. You have to see a picture of him because he lives on the other side of the different country. It's actually, it lives in Hawaii. And we send, Luther does all the research, to determine what's the best topic. He also writes the script, so he sends us a script that we use as a framework. And then once the video is shot, Frick uploads it, sends it to Luther. No, Frick does an edit, a rough edit, sends it to Luther. Luther goes in, chops it up, do this, do that, move this, move that, sends it back to Frick. Frick then cleans up all that, sends it back to Luther. Luther either sends it back for more improvements, or it gets ready to post. So 4 of us, Frick, Jake, Luther, and myself. So I'm always woodworking every day. And that's a big source of the inspiration, because I'll do something and realize, shoot, I don't think we've ever actually filmed that. So between Jake and I and Luther, we're spitballing back and forth, coming up with ideas. It's always Luther's responsibility or job to go and search it. And sometimes you got to get creative and search it under different titles to find something that actually grabs that idea and shows as something that people have been looking for. And I don't know exactly how it works, but there's a range that if it fits, if there's this percentage of, how do we actually do that? Determine if it's valuable enough to go with. There's somehow it'll tell you that there's enough people looking for it that would be a good video to do. So that's where the actual ideas come from. Now I'm looking at this one right in front of you, so I'll use this as an example. So this was a wood hinge box. I make a lot of them, but usually hand cut dovetails or interesting finger joint from a jig that I made, and a little intimidating for some people. So I came up with this idea of doing something that would be really simple. One router. And that router has an 1/8 inch bit in it. And I designed this so that with that 1/8 inch bit sitting up out of the table, close to the fence, with the exact same setting and the same height, one run would give you a slot in the end of this piece. Another pass on this piece would give you a slot. So when you put the joint together, it fit perfectly. And we would use that same setting for cutting a groove in the bottom to actually house the bottom. So these are always popular. People love those wood hinges. So you get an idea like that and run with it, and it usually turns out to be pretty good. Something I neglected to comment on is that we read all of the comments that come in on the videos, and we've often used that as the source for producing the next video. So we appreciate your comments. And somebody will bring up a topic and say, hey, you've never covered this, or what about that? And more times than not, it's actually been a really good, interesting comment leading to the opportunity to produce a video that, for a lot of people, has turned out to be very valuable. Now, a little more nitty-gritty, and that is the title. So Luther's in charge of this as well. And this is where, again, he uses morning fame to go in, because the title has to appropriately not only match the content, but it's going to be something that's going to capture your attention, which, by the way, negative titles seem to do a whole lot better than positive. For some reason, people love to see the negative. But you also have to make sure that that title, as I said, accurately describes what's in the video, because that's all part of the YouTube algorithm that ends up getting that to you when you go doing the search. And I will mention this, because I don't think I was going to mention it, but within the first 15 seconds of every video, you have to repeat that title so that when their bots go through and search and do whatever they do, it makes sure that, again, the title matches the actual content of the video. Next thing on the list, Luther produces what we call a script. So that comes to us like that. This is a video that we will do in the near future. It's entitled Shooting Plane versus the Grip, which is a device that Jake developed for turning your hand plane into a really good tool on the shooting board. So part of the reason he does this is to try to keep it in some semblance of order. I have a tendency to go down rabbit holes, but it's listed by topic. He may sometimes give a suggested script, and I may or may not stick to it, just depends. I've put it into my words. But the idea is to get these bits of information out in somewhat of a logical sequence. Makes it easier for them to do their editing, makes it easier for you to follow along. And any other bits of information that sometimes just memory joggers for me, but we probably follow these, what, 50%? We ad-lib a lot. And if I'm doing something, I'll say, well, you know what, there's a better way to explain this, and I'll go ahead and do it. But having a script is a big deal, and it makes it organized so that we can actually accomplish this inside of a day or 2 or 3. So the next part is the actual filming. So Jake, my son, who is number 4 child of 10, I have 6 girls, 4 boys. Jake, as I mentioned, has been a cameraman since he was 16. And the interesting thing about this is, 2 years ago, when we had the old camera? We had a professional, what do you call it? How would you? Cinema camera. Cinema camera? This big monstrous camera had this apparatus that he wore that took all the weight of it and put it onto his hips. And the thing came over the top to support it because we might be in here for hours. And, you know, it was expensive. I don't know how many thousands of dollars. It was well over $10,000 we paid for that. In fact, it was probably closer to 15 and all the modifications we made. Now we use literally a phone and we get better quality. Sound is really important. Anyway, Jake's the photographer. Now, a lot of people make comments about Jake's filming because he's been doing this so long. He knows what's going on. He's been 3 feet away from everything I've done for the last however many years, 12, 13, 14 years. So he has really great insight. And it's really important that you're able to take comments or suggestions from someone who has a different perspective. Because I've been doing it this way for 50 years. When somebody else comes along who's hearing it for the first time and doesn't quite understand and can offer the suggestion, you know what? I really don't understand what you mean. What if you did that from a different perspective or a different point of view? So what you don't hear behind the scenes is the banter back and forth between Jake and I and trying to decide what angle is going to be best, where does this need to be shot from. Whole lot of stuff that goes on to make a production that not only has value in terms of information coming to you, but not wiggling and making you seasick, and seeing it from the perspective that you need. If everything was shot from one point, half of what I do, maybe 3/4 of what I do, you would not be able to see. But he'll try to get into that right position, and he has to constantly remind me, Dad, you can't move that stuff really fast. I've got to be able to change my focus to go out. So, I mean, after all these years doing it, I still have to be reminded of stuff like that. But Jake's the cameraman. Used to film on these little SD, is that what it's called? SD cards. And I was always petrified that somehow we were going to lose that card from the shop to Frick's house, because we'd have to drive it up to Frick's house to get him to unload it. I don't think we ever did lose one. So that was the latest. So that was the card that we used to use. So we would do the film, the video, take that to Frick. He would download it and do his magic. Now with the camera, we just simply, when we're done filming, it automatically gets uploaded to Frick. He gets it and does whatever he does with it. So it's gotten so much simpler. And the quality of the camera and the audio, which is another big thing too, because we spent a fortune over the years on audio. You really want to be able to hear. So we use these, what's the brand? Rode. Cordless. They're great. They work fantastic. If you're looking for a suggestion, that's the best one to get. That's the technical side. Thumbnail is really important too, because that's what if you think about it, when you go through and you're scrolling through YouTube videos, thumbnails tend to catch your attention. So ours, you'll notice, always have purple on them. That's kind of our thing. Purple Heart, work we do with combat wounded veterans, but there's always purple on there. And then the video, the thumbnail really needs to capture your attention so that you're interested enough to actually watch it. And the title. But there's certain times of the week and times of the day that are better than others for releasing videos. In other words, when are your viewers going to be most active? And that might not be the same for everybody. So we try to pay attention to that as well. So that's it. Now, this gets released and then we watch, because it'll always tell you how your video is doing compared to the last 10 videos that you've released. So 10 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, that's good. And we also go in and we monitor the comments. And we try to be responsive to people that are watching the videos. And if they have legitimate questions, by all means. Now that's either, sometimes Frick answers them, sometimes Jake answers them, sometimes Luther answers them, and occasionally I answer them. All sounds like it's coming from me, but it isn't. But I do try to chime in there as often as I can. If you have a suggestion, whether it's something that you would like to see, or even a comment about, or a question about something we've talked about on this one, leave a comment in there and we will do our best to get to it and answer it. And if you have a really good video, we'll even give you a shout out when we make that video. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you're doing them yourself, good luck with it. See you next time. If you enjoy my method of work and like my style of teaching, click on any one of these videos to help take your woodworking to the next level. I've always said better tools make the job so much easier. If you click on the plane and chisel icon below, it'll take you to our site and introduce you to all the tools that we actually manufacture right here in our shop. It'll also give you information on our in-person and online workshops.